We're going to have a fascinating conversation on today's Philadelphia Eagles now. I'm Chase Sr. Thank you so much for being here with us. But first, it's all presented and brought to you by 8 Sleep. If you're looking to improve your sleep, make sure you do it with 8 Sleep. 8sleep.com/chatsports, $200 off and free shipping on their new pod cover. We'll tell you more about what 8 Sleep has to offer coming up here in just a few moments. The conversation that we're having on this show is Howie Roseman up to something? Could the Eagles have a major move in store? Because Philadelphia right now has the ammunition to move up in the NFL draft to take a stud. We're talking an impact player right from the jump. Or Howie Roseman has the ammunition loaded up to maybe make a blockbuster trade on draft night for another player like he did a couple of years ago for A.J. Brown. You, of course, look at the Eagles' 2024 NFL draft picks, and they are set up very, very nicely going into the draft at the end of this month in April from Detroit. They get on the board, 22nd overall. I think that pick gives you flexibility to move up. It's not like you're at 30, 31, 32, and it's really difficult to get into the early 20s sometimes. You're at 22, you can find yourself getting into the teen range, right? But then Philadelphia has 2 second-round picks. 50 overall from New Orleans. Thank you, Mickey Loomis. Howie Roseman continues to own you. And then 53rd overall. So 3 picks inside the top 53. No third-round pick, kind of a bummer, but the Eagles back on the board. Round 4, 120 from Pittsburgh, from Los Angeles. That's a part of the Kenny Pickett trade. Round 5 pick, 161 overall, and then you have a compensatory pick at 171 in round 5 and 172 in round 5, and then Philadelphia's final pick as of right now, round 6, 210, also a compensatory pick. Per Over the Cap's NFL draft trade value chart. It's a mouthful, I get it, and it's a lot for the eye. We'll show you that here in a second. The Eagles' first 3 picks, 22nd, 50th, and 53rd, have a total value of 3,440 points. Chase, I don't even know what you're talking about. What does that mean? Well, this is what that NFL draft trade value chart looks like. It's a lot of different numbers, but every single pick in the draft has a certain amount of points attached to it. So all of those selections for Philadelphia, if you accumulate those numbers, the only teams with higher values as far as their draft capital right now through the first 2 rounds, only a handful of them, and they have some really good draft selections. The Commanders, who are currently equipped with the 2nd, 36th, and 40th pick. The Chicago Bears, who don't have a second-round pick. They are only on the board twice inside the top 10, number 1 and at number 9. The Cardinals, who right now have the 4th, 27th, and 35th overall selections, and the New England Patriots, who are selecting 3rd and 45th. So that's a translation for Philadelphia's 3 picks inside the top 53 have a lot of value around the league if they want to trade up or package those picks together for a player. The Eagles can use this premium draft capital to do a bunch of things. Trade up, compile picks, even trade for that impact player. As for some Eagles trade targets with players, Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys, that's obviously the big ticket player, blockbuster, just a trade that would move mountains in Philadelphia and send a ripple effect across the NFL. Patrick Surtain would have a similar impact because I think Philadelphia is still in need for a corner. Budda Baker, player who I really like because his versatility is awesome. He'd be a great joy to watch under defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. And then 2 non-sexy selections here. Cesar Ruiz, who signed a pretty lucrative contract with the New Orleans Saints. He's a very solid center who packs a strong punch, good run blocker, solid pass protector, and then if you want to bulk up safety for a price that isn't as rich as a Budda Baker, Justin Simmons, you could have a reunion with Marcus Epps. I know this, and I'm sure a lot of you are already in the comment section call me all types of names. Micah Parsons is unrealistic. You would have to give up a ton. Micah Parsons is going to overtake Nick Bosa for the largest contract for a non-quarterback in the history of football. I think he's going to make more than $34 million per year. What would it cost Philadelphia? The equivalent of the Walt Whitman Bridge, which is obviously very important for travel from Philadelphia to New Jersey. Patrick Surtain, that's going to require some picks, which the Eagles have, and a contract extension. Eagles do have some money worth around $30 million in cap space. The L'Jarius Sneed trade, only a third and a fifth for him. I don't think Denver gets a first-round pick back for Patrick Surtain. Budda Baker, among all of those star players, more affordable, and he's more affordable as compared to last year when I thought his value was still really high. Injury-plagued season in 2023. Cesar Ruiz, very solid and strong center where you could bulk up your offensive line. And Marcus Epps, a reunion with someone who played well for you, who developed under your tutelage and under your watch, who also fills a need. Now, coming up next here on the show, some trade-up options in the NFL draft for the Philadelphia Eagles. Be sure to stay tuned for that. First, this is today's poll question, and it's our pinned comment on this video. Will the Eagles stay put and pick at number 22, or will Howie Roseman be a mover and shaker? S for stay, M for yeah, they're going to make a move. Let me know what you're thinking down below in the comment section. As I mentioned off the top, today's Philadelphia Eagles Now is sponsored by Eat Sleep. Sleep to power a whole new you. Why do you love sleep? Ask yourself that question. I love sleep because I feel energized. I have mental clarity. I also know it's really, really good for me. And with the 8 Sleep Pod 3 cover, it will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. The cover can be added to any bed like a fitted sheet, and it allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. In addition to keeping you at the perfect temp all night, the pod also tracks your sleep and health metrics. On average, pod users see their sleep quality improve by 32% after just 1 month on the pod. I'm telling you this right now, there's no better way to improve your day-to-day life better than sleep. And the easiest way to do that with the 8 Sleep Pod 3. Start the new year right. Invest in the rest that you deserve with the 8 Sleep Pod. Head to 8sleep.com/chatsports. And with that, you get $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8 Sleep. Invest in the rest that you deserve. Power everything right from your smartphone as you see right now. This is the intelligent sleep system that you've been missing. All right, we put together a couple of trade ideas that would allow the Eagles to maneuver up the draft board with a couple of teams that could look to trade back and move down. Trade idea number 1, a move with the Seattle Seahawks where Philadelphia gets 15th overall, and then they draft Duke offensive lineman Graham Barton, who I really, really like. The Seahawks then get the Eagles' original pick, 22nd overall, and then one of their second rounders at 50. There's a cost for doing business and a cost for moving up. If the Eagles want a sure thing interior offensive lineman prospect, I believe Graham Barton is that guy. He's athletic, he's tough, good football IQ, a lot of versatility. He's played center. He could play guard. He played tackle, left tackle. Last year for Duke, numbers very, very good. Overall Pro Football Focus grade 75.9. Only 2 sacks allowed, no hits allowed, 9 hurries, and 6 penalties. He could be your center. He could be your right guard if you don't like Tyler Steen and or Cam Jurgens. He could also play a little bit of tackle but has some short arms. Would be interested to see how the Eagles evaluate him as far as what position they slot him in at. Trade idea number 2. Player who I really like is Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo. And the Eagles make another move with the Saints. Even though Mickey Loomis is spooked by Howie Roseman, here, the Saints are able to pick up 22 overall and 50 overall. Eagles go up from 22 to 14, and in doing so, they draft cornerback Quinyon Mitchell, who in 2023, terrific player, throughout his entire career, terrific player. A lot of you are a little bit concerned about the level of competition, But look, we've seen players play at subpar levels of competition, and they've ended up being impact players and high leverage players in the National Football League. The grades, the analytics, the numbers, they all check out for Mitchell. Pro Football Focus overall, 91.5. Coverage, 91.6. Completion rate when targeted, 43.5. Passer rating when targeted, 51.1. Man coverage, zone coverage, he checks out there. He had 17 pass breakups in 2023. Interceptions, 1. He did have 3 drops. That's why he's playing defense right now. Trade idea number 3. Eagles move up to 17 in a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you could go Alabama offensive tackle JC Latham. You could go Troy Fatana. You could go Talis Fuanga. The Jags get 22 and 50 here from Philadelphia. They get a first rounder. They get that second rounder, which I still think is very valuable at 50 overall. They have some needs on that roster. They could use a wide receiver. You could find a really good wide receiver at 50 overall as well. JC Latham is a player who played at Alabama, kind of fits what the Eagles look for as far as the mold of him being an offensive lineman in that prototype. Huge frame. And he could play offensive tackle now, in the future, and then right now he could also play guard and then take over for Lane Johnson at some point. Overall grade per PFF in 2023 of 81.9. Gave up 2 sacks. Mobile quarterback, though, so keep that in mind. 3 hits, 9 hurries, and 7 penalties. So a couple of trade ideas, a couple of trade up targets, and then some trade targets overall for Howie, Roseman, and company. With those 3 draft trades that we showed you, which one do you like? 1, 2, 3. Comment below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Go Birds. I will catch you next time.